So the leaves are down, the trees are bare, and houses don't look as nice as they would during the spring or summer season, right? So one of the things you want to look for when you're out looking at houses during this time of the year is you want to see what your house backs up to, right? There was, I guess like 6 years ago, there was a property that I went on a listing presentation for in, I believe, Centerville. It was right before fall really kicked in, so the house looked amazing. The backyard looked amazing, wonderful. And then the client had to do some work on the property, so we're going to have to meet again probably like 2 months or so closer to the winter time. Fast forward, we have our winter meeting, and the trees are bare in the back, and the yard looks a hot mess because the house actually backs up to Fairfax County Parkway. So during the spring season, you can't see the Fairfax County Parkway because the trees block it, right? And because the trees block it, the house is more or less more valuable on the market at that time because most buyers are not going to go through the woods to see what's
more marketable at that time, yeah.
Exactly. So when you're looking at properties right now, you want to go into that backyard, especially if it faces if there's like a treed or forested backyard. Go into that backyard, see what's back there.
I would actually say see what's back there any time of year. So if you have a tree-lined backyard, especially in the spring and summer, I would say go take a look back there because, had that house come on the market in May, the buyers would never know that the house, and that's not necessarily something that has to be disclosed because we all have access to maps.
That's true.
And so that's not something that I think has to be disclosed by the seller within the listing.
That's true. The next thing you want to look out for when you're buying a house in wintertime is that, right now it's like 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It's getting dark here at 4:30. One of the silly things about living up here is that even though people have been living up here for several years, they keep on responding about how it got dark so quickly. Like, oh my, like you'd be surprised how many conversations are being had right now about it being dark earlier.
I'm just gonna go ahead and say
you can say
that I feel like it's dark earlier this year than in years past. I mean, think about it. The kids used to get out of school at 4. You're telling me that by 4:30 it'll be this dark? No.
Like I said, this is if you're moving up here, just get ready for this conversation. This conversation is going to be like the next month. People are going to be like, "Man, can you believe how dark it is?" All you have to say is, "What? Like, are you serious? I didn't know." Yeah, just play along. Don't confront these people, okay? Don't confront them. Despite the seasons happening every season, every year.
Okay, so now I have something else to look up.
Yes. Okay, so because it gets dark earlier, most people look at houses, I would say, after they get off of work. In the summer season, it's still light outside. You can actually assess, you can look at the property. In the wintertime, when you're looking at properties, even it's pitch black. That means that you're not going to be able to see much of anything around the property. So if you can only see properties after work, that's understandable. Please bring a flashlight, right? Please bring some shoes that you can walk the perimeter of the house into because it's going to be dark. It's going to be hazardous to walk outside at that time of night. And you want to fully assess the property you're buying. You're not just buying the interior of the property. You're buying the exterior, you're buying the view to the neighbors or the lack of the view to the neighbors. All of that stuff goes into the purchase price of the property you're buying. And so just this year, we had a client that we put an offer on the property and we had a home inspection done. If we would have sold the property at night, my clients would have just purchased the property. But since we started during the daytime, we were able to see that there was some water issues in the backyard. Which we would not have seen that.
And if you did the home inspection on a dry day, you might not have known.
Exactly. So last thing I want to bring up about buying a house in the winter time, well, I guess not the last thing, but one of the last things is you're not going to be able to assess whether or not the air conditioning system works in these properties because of the temperature outside. That means that when you do get a home inspection, the home inspector is only going to be looking at the furnace. So that you could have half of a system working in the property. This is just a risk you're going to have to take, and it comes with buying a property during the winter season. So,
or even late fall, that may even be an issue. Just when the temperature drops, there's really nothing that the home inspector can do.
So if you're buying a property in wintertime, make sure you get your HVAC system serviced. If you're just moving in, right, because you don't know if the air conditioning system works, make sure you get that property serviced, the HVAC service, as soon as the temperature, I believe it can rise above 60 degrees, and then you can actually get it serviced and make sure it's in working condition. Okay, this is the last thing. We don't have too much snow, but when we do have snow, it snows a little bit, and sometimes people don't remove the snow from their driveways, from their sidewalks when we're looking at properties at that time. So you probably want to bring yourself a nice pair of boots, right? This is not the time to look cute when it snows, right? Because if the property is vacant, that means no one has shoveled the stoop, the sidewalk, the driveway, and it can get dangerous for us when we're walking out there. I don't want you to slip and fall.
Yes, I've shown properties in that weather, and it is not conducive to really to high heels or hard bottom shoes.
That's true.
Lesson I learned my first year here.
That's true. So if it's snowing when you're going to look at properties, make sure you just have some boots in the back of your car, or just get ready for an adventure. Right? And that's it. So that's everything I want to talk to you all about buying a house in the winter season. Buying a house in the winter season is an advantageous time for buyers because we have less properties come on the market in the winter time, and usually the individuals who are putting houses on the market in winter time, they have to sell because our most favorable time of the year to sell a property is really in the spring season. And so if an individual cannot wait, this is a great opportunity for you as a buyer to either secure a property with less competition. I'm not going to say you can get too much of a discount.
Yeah, I think that the less competition is probably a bigger advantage than even trying to get a deal, because as we saw this last spring and summer, we're looking at, multiple offers within 48 hours of property coming on the market.
Right.
So just the advantage of having less competition, just the fact that properties might actually be on the market for a week versus going under contract in 2 to 3 days, that's an advantage over people who are going to begin looking in April.
That's true. That's true.
And the spring market here starts in like February, March. So it's not even traditional springtime. The spring market starts as soon as the weather warms up a little bit. So really you're looking at December, January, maybe a little bit of February as our winter market.
Exactly. So if you're riding around communities right now, you see a lot of contractors or construction trucks outside of properties. Those properties are actually being renovated or updated to come on the market in the springtime, right? So this is the time of the year when sellers who know they're going to sell in the spring, they're doing a lot of their honey-do list, right? And some of their major renovations. Maybe they'll do those right before, if they go on like a trip during the Christmas holidays, get some of those big projects out the way. So that's it as far as buying a house in the winter time. Let us know if you have any comments or questions. Post those down below. Thank you so much for joining us for another show. My name is Abraham Walker. This is Crystal Walker. We're a husband and wife team helping people in the Northern Virginia real estate market. Our contact information is right down here somewhere, right down there somewhere. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. There is a link in the description to the Perfect Home questionnaire. Fill that questionnaire out and we will schedule a time to do a virtual call via Zoom, and we'll answer any questions that you have about the real estate market. And that's it for us. Peace.